Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way show. Thank you for showing up. I am late today. Usually my show is at 7 p.m. I ran really late today. I had to take my daughter, sadly for me, good for her, back to the airport and get her back off to college for this semester. She has left me, so she's not with me now. She is 20, so she's got to be on her own. But I am a father, so I want my daughter to both go off and be great and stay 3 years old forever. Clearly, I'm delusional. You can't have that. But I want both at the same time. Can't have them. But what happens? I become late. It should be past 7 p.m., a little bit past 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Still good. Still happy that I'm here. I'm so glad you are all joining me today. A couple of things happened. And one of the things that made me think this is a lot of things happened that kind of came together for me on this one. And the odd part is, I helped my daughter get a bank account. And when I did that, well, of course, you have to have all types of, data and stuff for the bank account piece, right? So my daughter asked why they asked so much, blah, blah. I said, well, there's a thing called KYC laws. That is know your customer laws. She went, oh, I guess that's good. I said, no, it's a colossal waste of time. It's stupid. It's to stop the bad guys, and it doesn't stop anybody. It just makes our life harder. It makes our life harder. We fill out more paperwork. We can't get stuff done. Everything's more expensive and nothing is saved. Bad guys still do bad things. She went, oh, so yeah, that's common. That's constantly, all the time. And she goes, oh, okay. That sounds terrible. I said, yeah, it does. It's a colossal waste of time. They're useless, mean nothing. In my mind, they're actually unconstitutional, but no one cares for the Constitution anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But this isn't about KYC laws. This is about, now that you have KYC laws, bad guys go do something else now because they can't do this, but we're still stuck with stupid know your customer laws. So we, the good people, the people who aren't doing bad things currently, how about that? The people who aren't doing bad things currently pay the price of these terrible laws. Meanwhile, the people who are doing bad things currently just go off and do bad things some other way, again and again and again, right? TSA, perfect example of that, right? Security theater. Another good example of that. Can't bring your phones here. Can't do, just reasons to make our life harder, more expensive, waste time. Bad guys still do bad things. Haven't changed a thing. Want to bring that up? Because that then reminded me of what's happening recently. You probably heard the news about a bunch of people like spies in Kathy Hochul's government. And then, of course, not just spies in Kathy Hochul's government, but of course, supposedly the Russians are supposedly infiltrating Tim Pool and Lauren Southern. Is that right? Those all of a sudden, right? All that stuff. And I thought to myself, is that, And it reminded me, believe it or not, of I think it was Netflix, but it might have been Amazon Prime. It was a series a couple years back called Mr. Robot, if anybody happened to see that series. And I don't want to give it away in case you ever watch it. I thought it was a very good series. If you like what I'm going to tell you about, you might want to watch it if this is your genre of film. It is about hackers, or not hackers, that's wrong. A group of kind of like misfits. I'll say that. I don't want to give too much of the movie away. It's about misfits who want to kind of like take down the system, and they do it or try to do it via hacking. I don't want to tell you whether they do it or not. You may want to watch the thing, but it's about that. It's about that kind of thing. Mr. Robot, you can check it out online. And if you care about watch that kind of movie, I enjoyed it. I liked the series. I enjoyed it. 3 seasons, 2 seasons, whatever it was. I enjoyed it. But why do I bring this up? Because part of that, and other shows I've seen like this, talk about the idea of hacking. And when they try to hack things that are very secure, like it's hard to get into this computer, or it's hard to get into this building or something like that, they don't hack the hardware. They don't hack the physical thing. They hack the people who let them in. They hack the people who let them in. So no matter how good your system is or how tough your system is, if I hack the person The person lets me in, right? And that's the piece. That makes it easier. That's what they do next. And that made me think of what's happening now. We have all these things like TSA and KYC and blah, 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 and Homeland Security, all useless security theory that means nothing and makes our life harder. Meanwhile, people like Eric Swalwell literally are dating Chinese spies. Kathy Hochul, right? And our previous monarch, King Cuomo, the second of his name. I don't want to insult him. Second of his name, all hail. He had Chinese spies in his administration, right? And now supposedly Russiagate. I mean, I don't know if that's true. That's alleged. Maybe true. I don't want to say that these guys are right or wrong. I don't know. Maybe true. But now it's these guys. But here's the worst part. Now when it's people, this makes things even worse. Now when they start hacking people, hacking Kathy Hochul, hacking whatever, Tim Pool or whoever, again, all alleged. We'll see if it's true. Why do I say that? I'll tell you in a second. Because once you start doing that, now the left-right paradigm comes in, and now that's not believed. So hacking people actually becomes easier. It becomes easier. Because now if you hate Trump and love Kathy Hochul, someone's going to be like, oh, no, that's a lie. The Republicans made that up. She wasn't the spy, and you'll believe it. Oh, okay, because Trump is obviously evil and Democrats are obviously awesome, so therefore that's a lie. Or if you're on the opposite side, Tim Pool, no, he didn't do anything. It was Democrats making up Russia, 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 and then it's gone. Doesn't matter. Now you might go, but Larry, it is. But we don't know. And the problem is we're just going to assume that it's not the thing. It's not the thing because we like the person or hate the other, either one. So now it becomes easier to hack individuals now. Well, what are you going to do now? Well, of course, they're going to do things like we're going to have special rules to stop this and make this harder, make that harder. Okay, so now no one gets hired. And they're going to have the things that never work, which is zero tolerance rules. By the way, I literally do, when I do my trainings, business trainings, leadership trainings, I say something that drives people crazy. All zero tolerance rules always make things worse. They're not neutral. Zero tolerance rules makes things worse. Every time, no exception. It's very rare that you'll ever hear me say no exception. I usually say things like, that's a good general rule. Most of the time, not always. No. In this case, zero tolerance policies always, every single time, not neutral, make things worse. Every time. No exception. There's not one example of it ever making things better. Why? Because when you demand perfection, you get deception. That is another 100% rule. That's another 100% rule. That's not the right answer. But we won't do that. We won't. And here's my example. I'm going to give you a little bit. I haven't done a Tuesdays or Wednesdays with Kathy in a while. I'm going to give you a little bit of what Kathy Hochul talked about when she had to answer questions regarding her Chinese spy that she had, or allegedly had. Again, I'm saying alleged because this is the second piece I'm going to bring up. This is now a great way to attack your political opponent, isn't it? Right? So I'm losing the election to the other guy, and I go, well, he's got spies. And now I say he's a Russian spy or a Chinese spy or insert bad guy here, right? I go, hold on. I guess if you're a Democrat, I got to say Chinese. And if you're Republican, I got to say Russian. Is that like the rule of the day now? That's like the equivalent bad guys that people believe. So I got to say that now. And when I say that, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. So I think that's my other problem that I have with this. Let me show you this and watch how she responds, and you'll see what I mean by this. This is how she responds, because she has to say something, because it's going to look bad.
At the request of Secretary Blinken, our Secretary of State, speaking with a high-ranking State Department official, and I had conveyed my desire to have the Consul General from the People's Republic of China in the New York mission expelled.
So now, what does that mean? There is for those who don't know, embassies are in the capital. Some of you don't know that, but embassies are in the capital. But there are branches of the embassy in many major cities like New York, Chicago, LA, that kind of stuff, right? But those aren't officially the embassy. The embassy is officially in DC, and there is one ambassador. But there are consulates in other cities, and they're often called the consulate general. So New York has one. So she said, I want to have him expelled. And Blinken said, yeah, we're going to have him expelled. Why? What'd that do? Nothing. That literally did nothing. That was a colossal waste. It did absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. But yes, we did it. We're gonna expel him.
And I've been informed that the Consul General is no longer in the New York mission.
Problem solved.
I also requested the State Department to take appropriate action in response to the dangerous and outrageous actions taken by the People's Republic of China, and they are involved. Happy to take any questions.
Now watch the questions.
Governor Hochul, hi. What harm do you believe may have been done by Linda Sun's alleged actions? So what concerns you the most in terms of whether she was able to influence correspondence, the words that came out of your mouth?
Now, the first thing she's saying is, if you noticed, right, she's the question is, so what harm did you do? She changed the words that came out of your mouth, because all the press now wants is sound bites to make her look bad. Right. That's my point. So now you just put this allegation against your political enemy, and now you look bad.
Governor Cuomo's mouth. And separately, should it have been detected sooner? And if not, what are you going to do about that?
Well, the moment we discovered the misconduct, we fired this individual. This individual
that solved it.
Who served in my administration 15 months was fired by this administration. And we reported immediately to law enforcement. And
now she says by this administration for a very important reason, because the woman was hired under the previous administration, and she is distancing herself completely distancing herself. Why? Why would she do that? Why would she do that? Because she wants to make sure, not my fault. And that's my other problem. Now, no one wants to take responsibility for this at all.
In the meantime, we've been helping the Department of Justice for many months, and we'll continue to work with them. And I will say this.
Which means more laws. Go ahead, tell me.
The indictment lays out very clearly evidence that these actions taken by Linda Sun were an absolute betrayal of the trust of two administrations in state government, lying and misleading to these administrations, breaking our.
Always remember something. What Hochul will always do. She does 3 or 4 things every single time she speaks. 1, validates government. Always. 2, says how proud she is. 3, says how hard she works. And 4, somehow creates more work, another job, something like that, to spend more money. Every time she does that, she'll do it here too.
Our ethics rules, and even forging my signature on documents. But more importantly than that,
tell me
that this is a betrayal of New Yorkers and of the American people. Public service is a calling. It should be revered.
It's a calling. It's revered.
Highly respected.
Respected.
And people in these positions step up to serve the people.
See that? Because they care.
And the allegations show that the individual in question, Linda Sun here, did exactly the opposite. So in short, I have said it. I am furious. I'm outraged by this behavior. And we're going to continue working alongside the administration, get the Department of Justice to get this done. She was a mid-level aide.
Mid-level, she's important.
My predecessor, she worked
last
for
guy
more
did
than
it.
a decade. And she lied to our administration. She violated our ethics rules. And as I said, the moment we discovered this, she was gone. So happy to take any questions, but there are protocols in place for dealing with any conversations with foreign governments. A vetting process is in place. And, so now more vetting processes are in place. So now it's harder to hire. It's harder. You're never going to stop the hack. And he's saying, Larry, are you saying right now that if you were there and you were the governor, you wouldn't say this? I wouldn't. If I was the governor right now and I found out that there was some spy, I would say she got by us. And you know what? We're going to keep moving. It sucks. We know that foreign governments, they try to hack in, they try to get through. Obviously, our hardware was good enough. That part's good.
We got human resource issues, and we're never going to stop. Humans are humans. We got rid of her as fast as we could. We're moving forward. And you know what? There's going to be more. There's going to be more. But we have to be vigilant. The way we stop this, and here's our problem, the way we actually stop this is we have to, without question, protect whistleblowers, because somebody knew something was fishy with her and they didn't say anything. Anything we got to do, more whistleblowers. If we protect our whistleblowers, people like this will not pop up. That is the answer. Open conversation. Now things are fixed, not harsher rules so they can go some other way. That's the problem. We make harsher rules, they go someplace else. The answer is we protect whistleblowers. There's no doubt somebody saw her. Somebody knew that. What if, I mean, look, Cuomo, they say, and this is what was said by Cuomo, I don't know if it's true, but they say that Cuomo would often hire women because they were hot. Now, that might have been because he was the butt grabber, allegedly, I don't know. He didn't have a court, so they dropped all the charges. So we never found out in discovery whether that was true or not. But that was the allegation. The allegation is he put that woman on his detail because she was hot. Again, allegation, don't know if it's true or not. But you tell me nobody knew that? There wasn't one situation who went, she's not right for this job. Oh, he picked her because she's hot. Again, not worried about picking women, but pick the woman because she's the right person, not because she's hot. That's the wrong reason. You pick your girlfriend, maybe, if you like that kind of thing, because she's hot. You don't pick your security detail because she's hot. But again, according to that, that's what happened. Well, what is going on here? Why don't we have whistleblowers? This is the answer. The answer is protect whistleblowers, and you will watch people say, hey, this is wrong. This is corrupt. We don't do that. We punish whistleblowers, right? All those people going to jail. Snowden, who's still sitting in Russia right now. We punish whistleblowers, and then when we get caught, we just add more rules. That's not the answer. That is not the answer. Morgan says, hiring based on attractiveness, the original DEI, lol. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yes, absolutely. So I do think that's the issue, and that's why I bring this up, right? I bring this up for that reason, that the answer is changing culture, right? Anyway, Space says, I wonder how much money this is going to cost us. Kathy's solution is always throw a few $1 million at the problem. Yes, thank you. Oh, see, Space, you've watched her enough. You do exactly right, right? There's going to be a $20 million anti-spy commission, which her friends will get more jobs. That is how she always ends things. I'm not going to walk down this road because this is boring, but you already know what I'm talking about. You already know this is going to happen. And that's the piece that drives me crazy. Space, you read this perfectly. The answer is not more laws. The answer is more transparency and protecting whistleblowers. I can guarantee you somebody said something wrong here. And if you look at the newer allegations, well, we'll go older and newer. The older allegation against Eric Swalwell, same thing. Somebody thought something was wrong. Why are you dating this girl? What happened? Nope, don't say anything, lose your job. Don't say anything because you lose your job. So he gets away with it until eventually he gets caught. And eventually this one got caught 10 years later. Well, supposedly, again, this is all alleged. Everything could be an attack on anybody, right? Alleged. All this stuff's alleged. So supposedly now there's some fake Russian group that was given millions of dollars to a bunch of conservatives. So Swalwell and Hochul get attacked by Chinese, the Democrats, I guess, and I guess the conservatives get attacked by Russians. Is that the way it works now? So now there's this Russian group. Now, is it true? Maybe. I'm not saying it isn't, but maybe it is. But there was according to what the cops say, that doesn't mean it's true, by the way. I want to be very clear on that. Just because cops say it doesn't make it true. But according to what the cops say, they say that there were people who were saying, hey, this seems like it's wrong. And supposedly within the companies themselves, they're like, shh, it's good money. Again, cops say that. We'll see if that's true. But if that happened, again, even now in a private company, a guy says, wait a minute, this seems like Russians scamming us. And then the boss goes, I don't care, a lot of money. Put it in. Shut up, or you're fired. What? People should be able to talk and say what they feel is right and wrong. Now, if that happened, shame on the people if that happened, right? Again, just because cops say it doesn't make it true. But if that happened, terrible. Let me grab a couple of comments so you guys are popping up about this. Mike Voss in the house. How are you, sir? He says, infiltrated the Democratic Party. Absolutely. There's easily researched evidence of that going on. to 2018. Hacked elections, no more than any other nation like Iran. The hacking is a distraction from issues. You know, I used the word hacked on purpose, right? And I didn't mean it necessarily to mean that, but I could get you could say that. But even that would still be, I think, people. I think as a general rule, relatively, I'm being relative here. As a general rule, relatively, American companies at least, are relatively secure compared to other countries. There are better, obviously. Some Israelis are some of the most secure, but compared to other nations, pretty secure. So what do? You hack the people. You get the people to do the thing you want them to do, and then the system doesn't matter, right? I don't care how much hardware you have. You'd have the best lock in the world. If I give you the key, Mike, you get in. You hacked me, and I give you the key. So it doesn't matter how tough my door is. You get right in. I think that's what we see more than anything. Jess says, yeah, I was wondering when you're going to do a show. Been checking on and off since for my time. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Absolutely. I do appreciate that. Yes. So that Liberty Lady says, does anyone hear glitchy sound, or is it my phone? I didn't see. You're the only one who said that, Liberty. I think it might be you. I hope it's not me. If it is me, please tell me. Morgan says, bans work just as well as mandates. When are people going to learn this, Morgan? Ever? Maybe never. I may be fooling myself, huh? It's never going to happen? Maybe never. Yes. Sam says, government wants to know when I spend $500 on my Venmo, but they just lost $500 billion to fraud, not counting overly, spending on stuff. Yeah, because that's easy to get. I can get you. I can punish somebody, which is what she's worried about. Why did she want to remove the New York consulate? As if the New York consulate general, like that guy, I think it was a guy, Chinese. I don't know. I think it was a guy. Like that guy masterminded the whole thing, right? It was all him. He figured, he was like, I'll put her in 10 years ago and get Kathy Hochul to say dumb things. Like he's the one who did that. Of course not. Of course not. But someone's got to pay, because it's all about punishment now and then making new laws. Punishment, more laws, punishment, more laws. Absolutely. So, all righty. Robert says, it is our duty to make sure your account is secured. When you get hacked, message me now for recovery. Oh, look at that. Robert wants to help us. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. He wants to help us. Here we go. Alex says, that Liberty Lady, yes, it's glitchy here and there for me too. Uh-oh. Maybe I got bad internet tonight. Could be. I'm not sure. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I hope not. Let's see here. Jess says, off subject, Kennedy's own YT, I guess YouTube, releases short that cut off context that makes it sound like he wants all supporters to vote for Trump. Uncut seems like meant only certain states. Any update from your end? I don't know, to be forward with you, and I'm going to tell you guys something so you're very clear. I don't care. Here is what, if you supported or support RFK Jr., either one of those, whatever you feel, if he's on your ballot, it's not a swing state, vote for him. That's it. I don't care what the campaign says. Irrelevant. I don't care what any of them say. I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what Bobby Kennedy says. Don't care. We need 5%. If they can't figure it out, that's on them. If you do support Bobby Kennedy Jr., or did support him, or still want to, if you still want an independent movement, if you care about the independent movement, if you think it matters, then if it's not a state that is swing, you ought to vote, and he's on your ballot. If he is, you ought to vote for RFK Jr., if that's what you want. If you don't, I get it. I'm not forcing you. If you want to vote for whatever, somebody else, go ahead, do your thing. But if you are, and I feel like, yes, you are, if you're someone who supports, vote for him. We need 5%, 8 million votes. Take your grain of sand and put it on a beach. I don't care what he wants, and you shouldn't either. I don't care what a campaign wants, and you shouldn't either. You should care about getting 5%. You should care about 8 million votes. So go get 8 million votes, assuming he's on your ballot, not a swing state. Those two caveats. On your ballot, not a swing state, vote Bobby Kennedy Jr. I don't care what stuff comes out of the campaign. Watch my show, ignore them. Are we good, Jess? Watch my show, ignore them. Clip this off YouTube, what I just said. Clip it. You can. I don't mind. Clip it and spread it everywhere. Spread it everywhere. I don't care. Do I look like I care? If you, again, some of you don't care, fine, no worries. But if you do, that is your task. Your task is to ignore what any of them say. I don't care what they think. It is irrelevant. You are to vote for him in any state that is not swing if he is on your ballot. Done. We need 8 million votes. They will all thank me later, and so will you. There we go. Hope that answers your question. Roger says, hacking people is called social engineering. Yes, if it's a group, right? Yes. But as an individual, they often call it hacking the individual, right? Yes, as a group, you're right. But sometimes as individuals, they say, no, we got to hack this guy. So when they're trying to do it, they try to find an individual that's hacking people. Low. So group, you're correct. So yes. All righty. Legacy Zach says, government uses fear to manipulate feelings, but vote harder. Yes. Yes. I'm not asking to vote harder. I'm asking to vote a specific way. That's what I'm asking you, right? That's it. Mike Voss says, but there are no Russian spies working for decades for Republicans. The best media can push is potential influence or hacking. Not really the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt that. I mean, I doubt that because, not because I don't like Republicans or I don't really care, but I assume that we have tons of spies. I'm assuming Russians have tons of spies. I'm assuming they're trying to spy on both Republicans and Democrats. I'm sure they're trying to. They may be unsuccessful. I don't know if they're successful or not. Who knows? But I'm sure I'm sure we're spying on them, trying to get all their people. I'm sure they're spying on us, trying to get a hold of the most prominent people with the Democrats, Republicans. I'm sure they would love to hack and spy on Trump. I'm sure they would. Maybe they have. I don't know. We may not know that for a long time if it's true. But I'm sure they're trying. Here's what I'm sure of. I'm sure they're trying. Are they successful? Who knows? So, yeah. Joel says, isn't there a "are you a spy" question on the employment form? It would say the background checker's time. You're right, Joel. Let's just have that. And the funny part is they will have that. And they'll have that so they can cover their butt. This is not KYC laws, know your customers. These are CYA laws, meaning cover your, yes, these are CYA. Correct. They do it all the time. They constantly do this. Matt says, she sounds so worried. Because usually she doesn't do this. Usually she'll ignore it. She was worried. Her people told her to come out. Generally speaking, if you ever watch Kathy Hochul's media, it is nothing but terrible media. She puts something out and it's just people calling her names. Just look at her social media. It's all negative. It's all negative. People don't like, okay, I should be clearer. Most New Yorkers don't like the Democratic leaders at all. Most don't. Some do. Some absolutely love them. Some do. But they're a small percentage. Most New Yorkers do not like Democratic leaders. They just hate Republicans. And I'm being very forward. If you live in New York, you know what I'm talking about. They just hate Republicans. And boy, do they hate Trump. Oh my God, do they hate Trump. So if you are a Republican who supports Trump, New Yorkers don't like you. So they vote for the Democrat, not because they like Democrat, they just hate Republicans. That's the biggest deal, which is why when I was running, I said, I can't run as a Republican in New York State. And to be clear, locally, Republicans win all the time in New York State. Locally, local elections, all the time. Lots of Republicans locally in New York State. Statewide, impossible. Hasn't happened in 22 years. Not going to happen anytime soon. No way. You cannot win as a Republican in a statewide election in New York State. So run as anything else. When I ran in 2018, we had some data. We got no data in 2022. It was a disaster election. But in 2018, we had data. About 25% of the people who voted for me in 2018 were registered Democrats. So Democrats will vote for someone who's not a Republican. They will. Absolutely. So, yes. Morgan says, it's not because what was done was wrong. It's because he got caught. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But if you have whistleblowers, they see what's wrong, which means they get caught earlier. That's the whole point. But the other part is you find this out. You get scared. If I say something and this person is, whatever, buddies with the governor or is doing a business deal with the chief of staff, I'm fired. I've lost my job. I have no protection. Why would I say anything? And they also know how corrupt it is. They see that most people at the top don't care anyway. It's all about how they can make money. It's like, why am I going to care? Nobody else does. And that's the other piece. Building an environment out where you talk about the truth. You take everything. If you notice, I do it here. I take live questions all the time. Even negative ones. You guys call me names or say bad things. I still take them. I provide an environment of I'm going to say things. I'm going to hear things. I'm going to listen and answer honestly, even if you don't like it. So now you can too. So if I have an administration, you go, well, I can tell Larry that I think something's wrong. He might tell me to go take a hike, but he's not just going to be like, you're fired. He's not going to do that. That's the issue. Raina says, did she really just say forged my signature? Yes, supposedly, according to what the cops say, yes, they absolutely did forge her signature on decrees, right? They said that the governor says XYZ, signed it. Decrees that was supposed to go out and assist, according to what the cops say, was supposed to assist in helping out Chinese international trade. That is the crime, or they're alleging that they're actually going to trying to help out with Japanese trade, and that she was doing decrees. Joel says, at first she blamed Cuomo. It was the earlier admin, not mine. Exactly. Yes. Got to immediately do that. 100%. 100%. Yes. Khalidi says, Khalidi knows this. The whistleblower is punished more than a wrongdoer. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. That's the problem. We keep talking about, well, we got to punish the bad guy, but only after it becomes so obvious I can't do anything. And then they always go, the woman asked, the reporter asked, hey, should we have known earlier? Well, yeah, but our environment's garbage. We should have known earlier, but our environment's garbage and we punish whistleblowers. So yeah, no, we should have, but we're never gonna. And our answer to this is not support whistleblowers or have a better open environment. No, ours is punish more people. This way, if we want to punish more people, then no one will say anything ever because we're in an environment of punishment. The beatings will continue until morale improves. That's how that works. We will keep beating you until morale improves. So I don't know why you guys aren't happy. Be happy while I'm beating you, and then maybe I'll stop beating you. I mean, I probably won't, but I might stop beating you if you smile when I'm beating you. That's the environment. They wonder, why does this keep happening? Why does this happen again and again and again and again? I don't get it. I keep making draconian laws and stuff keeps getting worse. I don't get it. What do I need? More draconian laws. Of course. Let's have more draconian laws, because the 7 that I just put into place, I just got more terrible outcomes. If only I had 8 draconian laws, that would be the answer. If we just had 4 gulags, 3's not enough. If we just had 5 gulags, we'd finally have that utopia that I've been asking about and talking about forever. I appreciate that. Yes. All righty. Joel says, transparency was Cuomo's policy. Also, by the way, was love. I wish I was joking. I'm not. If you remember what Cuomo was saying, love wins. He would say that. He would literally say love wins, and then the next day, go to his security detail and grab the woman's butt. I guess that's how he performed his love. In fact, he said that, didn't he? If you remember, Joel, he said he grabs people because he's Italian. I was like, oh, that's what Italians do? I'm not Italian. I didn't know that. That's how that works. According to him, Italian people just grab people's butts. I didn't know that was a thing. I guess that would, so if I grab someone's butt, that would be cultural appropriation. I don't get to grab butts. Only Italians do, according to Cuomo. I didn't say that. Cuomo did. If you're Italian, you're mad at him, not me. I didn't say that. He did. He's one of yours. If you're Italian, get mad at him. They'll get mad at me. But he did say that. You're right. Absolutely. Nicholas says, if you have a security clearance, your finances are monitored. The government would notice if you're living beyond your means. So no one noticed the obvious wealth of this person. And Nicholas, this is a wonderful thing you just brought up, because if you look at what the cops say, she was like ordering specialized soups to people's houses. I'm serious. Like ordering special stuff to this place. Her lifestyle was amazing. Yes. But here's my point, Nicholas. I'm sure someone noticed. Literally what I was saying. I am 100% sure somebody noticed. So I noticed and I said, I better not say anything. Because who was she ordering those cool, whatever, specialized soups to? Maybe somebody who was on Hochul staff or who was on Cuomo staff, who was senior in the staff, and maybe they were hanging out together, enjoying some soup, and perhaps enjoying other things. I don't know that, but that's common, right? That's if you're a spy, you will use all types of ways of influencing people. whether they be physical, monetary, or whatever the case may be. So who knows what they were enjoying? So maybe that someone thought, if I say something, I'm fired. This goes right back to my point. Right back to my point of making it to where you absolutely support whistleblowers. Yes, absolutely. All righty. Matt says maybe he's being forced to withdraw from the election because of the Democratic convention. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Sassy says, hey, you guys really struggling with my chronic disease, so just going to listen today. Sassy, I'm sorry. I hope that you can recover as quickly as possible. I hope it's just a bout of it and it comes back to being better, I hope. I don't know what your specific issue is, but I know often people whenever they have a chronic disease, very often it's like bad, and then you get a little bit of a reprieve, and then bad, and you get a reprieve. I hope your reprieve happens very soon. So yes. All righty. The scientific libertarian says, see, Larry, you can get in the government position just to dress a little sexier. That's my problem. This shirt isn't sexy. Maybe, but I'm an older guy, so maybe I get to wear like one of those 70s leisure suits and like no t-shirt, and then like but unbuttoned down to the belly with a hairy chest. Is that like the thing? I got to be sexy like that? Leisure suit Larry? Is that right? I mean, my name is Larry. Try that. That might get me elected. I can do that. And it'll be lime green with a collar out to here. Now I'm killing it. Some people are picturing that and going, yes, that will work. Okay. I will give it a shot. Yes. Mike says, Diane Feinstein Spy was 20 years. Swalwell and Cali State Dems was 10 years. Confucius In-State had been over 20 colleges for decades. The left calls any reveal racist rather than addresses it. I don't remember that. No, I don't think so, man. They didn't call Swalwell that one racist. They tried to hide that. That didn't matter, right? That was swept under the rug. They didn't call that one racist. I don't remember, at least. Feinstein Spy wasn't racist, was it? I don't think that was racist. I think that was like swept under the rug. Like, oh no, that didn't, like it didn't happen or didn't matter or something like that. That's what maybe I'm wrong. That's what I remember. I could be off on that, but what I remember is I'm just like acting like it doesn't matter. That's what I remember, but maybe I'm off. So, all righty. Larry looks sexy in anything. Thank you, my friend. Yes, Raza is correct. Thank you very much. Raza is correct. There we go. Yes. Don't forget that. All right. Khalidi says mandatory requirements inspire deviant behavior. 100% yes. Humans are not perfect. They will never be perfect. If you make any system that requires perfection, and that if you are not perfect, you are treated harshly, people don't want to be treated harshly, so they will lie to you. Well, then they'll be fired. They'll be fired anyway because your system is harsh. So they can lie and hope they don't get caught or be treated harshly. Well, then they'll just lie. This is why this is stupid. One more time for any of you, for those in the back, if you run anything, if you're a leader or you have policy power in your group, whatever the case may be, never implement zero tolerance policies ever. Never. They always make things worse every single time. If you demand perfection, you will get deception. Wrong answer. Transparency is always better. Transparency leads to actual culture change when these things go away. What is your best defense against people stealing in your company? Well, we'll have hard security. No, people not wanting to steal. That is your best defense. So if you get to a point where people don't want to steal, where people feel that the company supports them and they'll feel bad about stealing, you're going to have some people who want to steal no matter what. There's always going to be a group of people who are like, I don't care, I'm stealing. Okay, but if people don't care about your company and they don't really, whatever, they're going to watch the guy steal and go, guess he's stealing, whatever. Or they're going to go, oh, you stealing? I'm going to steal too. But if they actually care and you have transparency and you won't punish them, they're going to tell you, Johnny's stealing. You now stop Johnny. 100% correct. That can be harder for sure, but it's absolutely the best case. Absolutely. Yes. So Tyler says, oh yeah, it turns out Tim Pool's a Russian puppet. The irony kills me. Alleged. Like I know Tim. I've been in his show twice. Always been good to me. I got Tim's always been good to me. So I have no issues with Tim. I know some of you don't like him. I get it. I'm telling you personally, never had a problem with him. Always been good to me. I hope he is not a Russian puppet, is what I will say. I don't know that just because cops say it does not make it true. And by the way, for those of you who remember this, I didn't like Cuomo at all. I still don't like Cuomo. If you remember, for those of you who were following me back then, when he got charged with all those things, if you remember, I didn't come out and attack him. If you remember, I said, nope, wait, give him due process. I can't stand Andrew Cuomo, my former governor. I think he's a bad person. I don't like him at all. And I still said, no, let the investigation happen, due process. I'm not saying he's guilty, nothing. And I waited until it came out and they were like, here's all the stuff he did. And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, you're a bad guy. Got it. You're a bad guy. Yes. He resigned. Yes. You're a bad guy. Yes. Before that, I had my mouth shut. So I'm not prepared to say that Tim is a Russian puppet. Is it possible? I don't know him that well. Like, we're not besties. So I don't know him that well. Is it possible? Maybe. I don't know. But this will come out. So I'm not prepared to say that yet, Tyler. Again, be very forward. Total transparency. I know Tim. I've never had a problem with him ever. I've been in a show before. I hope he is not. I hope that's wrong, Tyler. I don't know if it is. I hope it's wrong. That's what I'll say. Okay. I hope I made sense with that one. Rosa says, vote RFK 2024. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Yes. All right. Alexa says, have you heard an update on Bobby leaving the ballot in Illinois? Yes, they are trying to get rid of him on Illinois also. But the weird thing is, this is going to get confusing now. Everything for every ballot is going to wind up clearing itself out in about, give or take, 2 weeks. These next 2 weeks are really important for the election, if you care about the election. Very important for two reasons. Number one, you're going to watch all the ballot access become very crystal clear, what ballot he's on and off, because some states actually start early voting in like 2 weeks. I'm not joking. They start early voting in like 2 weeks. So you have to have the ballots out. Not just that, you've got to mail ballots out to all the guys and gals who are in the military overseas. And that takes time. So you're going to mail those ballots out. I remember when I was overseas, I voted via mail through a post office box. I think it was San Francisco. It's a fleet post office box in California is where I voted out of when I was overseas. And so they have to do that also. And a lot of early voting, right? There are certain, I think, is it Colorado that does all its votes via mail? So let's get the ballots out. New York State is by September 11th. You have to have always step in by September 11th. So that's how that works. So you're going to find the next couple of weeks that's going to happen. But one more piece that's critically important, and that is Trump sentencing. Trump sentencing is the 18th. Boy, we're going to see what's going to happen when that happens. Huh. So yes, they are trying to make that happen. We'll see it. The next 2 weeks will tell. And here's the next issue. Even if they throw somebody off, the question is now, do you appeal? Is there an appeal? Is there not appeal? Right? So you'll see who will appeal and who won't. So none of it's going to be real solid by another 2 weeks. I wish I had a better answer, Alexa, but that's just how it works. And there is a chance, if appeals keep going on in certain states, they could reprint ballots. That actually happened in 2018 in New York State on Long Island, a congressional district. It was like October 18th, and they reprinted all the ballots for that area, reprinted them all, because this woman got on. Gigi Bowman was her name. She got on in 2018. So it does happen sometimes. Yes. All right, let's see if I go down here. Let's see. Legacy does not like Tim. Tim pulls a RC. I don't want to say the words. I don't want to get canceled, but yes. I have not known that to be true, Zach. That's what I'll say. I have not known that to be true. So, yeah. Dao says, Jess, as much as I hate to say this, his latest email about 2 hours ago said he's asking his supporters to vote for Trump in all states to defeat Harris. Electoral and popular votes. Hard to swallow. Ignore that, Dao. I don't know if you were here when I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Ignore that. Ignore that. I don't care what he says. I don't care what the campaign says. I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what any of them say. And you might say, well, Larry, why? Why are you so worried about that? Because whether Trump wins or whether Harris wins, whichever one you prefer wins, good for you. Whatever, if you lean left, you'll have Harris, good for you. If you lean right, you'll have Trump, good for you. But all you've done is delayed your pain for 4 years. If you lean left and hate Trump, okay, and Harris wins, congrats. 4 years from now, you're going to get President Vance or President Cruz or whoever, right? If you lean right and you want Trump to win, awesome. Trump wins, good luck for you, great. 4 years, you're going to get President AOC or whatever. You're going to get, another person that you hate anyway. You're delaying your pain for 4 years. That's all you're doing. And you're not even delay it. You're mitigating it. There will still be pain and decay because the system still sucks. I cannot stress this enough. Anyone who thinks I'm wrong on this, never forget this. Never, when you're voting, forget this. Bush got us Obama. Obama got us Trump. Trump got us Biden. Who's winning? It's not us. It's them. And all of them are happy and wealthy and powerful. All of them are. All the people who work for them are happy and wealthy and powerful. What about us? What are we getting? What did we get? We got 25 years of decay. That's what we got. We got 25 years of decay. And I'll go one step further. If you lean right, oh, I lean right, I'm happy. Okay, great. The Republicans have run the Senate and the House and the presidency and the courts all together at the same time over this past 25 years. They've controlled all of them. During that time, did you get your balanced budget amendment? No. Did you get your border control, change of all the border laws, all the asylum laws changed? No. If you lean left, Democrats have control of the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the courts all at one time, at one point during 25 years. Did you get your Medicare for all? No. Did you get codification of Roe v. Wade? No. You didn't get what you wanted? You're never going to get what you wanted because they don't care what you want. It's clear. American people did not want Trump versus Biden, and they were going to get it until Biden just basically ended his own career. And then the American people did not want Trump versus Harris, and they got that anyway. They don't care what you think. So why would you care what they think? Let me say it again. They don't care what you think. So why would you care what they think? I don't. You shouldn't either. We need a third party. We need independent movement. I don't care who sends out what email. I don't care who sends out what email. We need a We the People party. We need 5% of the vote. We need 8 million votes. That's what we need. 8 million votes. The last time I was screaming this was 2016. For those of you who remember me back then, I was a surrogate for Gary Johnson. Those of you who've seen me on TV for RFK Jr. saw me on TV for Gary Johnson in 2016. Why, Larry? Why is there an 8-year gap? Why is there an 8-year gap? Because in 2020, there was no chance of anybody getting 5%. None. So I didn't care. Why would I take my time and energy to go do that for a nothing campaign? There's nothing. No one could do it. In 2016, I was wrong, but I believed Gary Johnson could get 5%. So my happy ass was on TV saying how awesome Gary Johnson was. I was raising money for him. I was on, yes, I stood in debate for him when he couldn't make it. I debated instead of Gary Johnson because I believed in 2016 he can get 5%. I was wrong. He got 3%, but I did believe he can get 5. I thought that. So it was worth it. I think Bobby Kennedy Jr. can get 5%. 5% is the holy grail. That's what I care about. Someone's ego, I don't give a shit. Someone's left better than right, I don't give a shit. It doesn't mean anything. It has zero value. It doesn't help you at all. It doesn't help us at all. The country is in a permanent state of decay, and you know it, or you wouldn't be watching this show. And you know it, or you wouldn't care about RFK Jr. A permanent state of decay. We have to change that. The two-party system is not going to help that. How do I know that? I told you guys this before. Please try to show me policy, actual policy page, real policy, detailed policy. Watch people talk about policy. The only guy I even tried was RFK Jr. Even tried. Don't care what they say. Don't care how they act. Don't care what email they send out. Don't care. 5%. 8 million votes. They don't care what you think. You shouldn't care what they think. 5%. Vote. I hope I made myself clear on my feeling. None of you are under any obligation to do as I say. You're listening, so you care about my opinion. That is my opinion. So there we go. Say the 5% part again and why. All right, I will give you details about the 5%. Here's why that matters. Here is why that matters. If he gets 5%, and if you happen to be someone who knows people on the Bobby Kennedy campaign, I hope they know this. You can actually get matching funds early. You can get them as early as November or December. So I don't know. I don't want to coordinate at all. So because you asked that question, E6022, I'm going to tell you about a made-up candidate that I made up. And the name of this made-up candidate is KFR Jr. KFR Jr. is a made-up candidate. It's fictitious. I made this up. KFR Jr. KFR Jr., if that fictitious independent candidate were to get 8 million votes, according to New York State law, American law, that person could qualify for matching funds of up to $20 million over the course of the next cycle. A chunk of that could happen right away. So let's say, for example, KFR Jr., this fictitious person I've just made up, might have some, campaign debt or something like that. They could pay that debt off. That would be legal. They could do that. That money will be there. There was another person who tried to do this. This is a real person who tried to do this, was Jill Stein. That's a real person, not the fake person I just made up. The real person, Dr. Jill Stein, tried to get that, and the Democrats stopped her with lawsuits, of course. They use lawfare because that's what Democrats do nowadays. They just use lawfare. They don't actually have good policies or ideas. They use the courts, which they stack, so they can trash people. That's what they did. But they can get that money back. But not just that. Once you get that, you, of course, have ballot access in many states. Why? Because for many states across the country, how you become an official party, which means you automatically get onto the ballot, meaning even locally. So you want to run for mayor, you want to run for city council, you want to run for state rep. Many states, it's a certain percentage you must get of any statewide election. So it could be someone running for a senator, someone running for governor, running for president. Any election to where in that election, the entire state votes for you. Could be attorney general, depends upon the state. Usually, it's no more than 2% of the vote. So if you get 2% of the entire vote in that state, you get ballot access automatically. So if you were to get 5% across the country, plus in any given state, 2% in a given state, you'd have ballot access automatically in all of those states. Immediately. Boom. Plus, you'd have over $20 million over the course of the next 4 years, which means you could afford to get ballot access in the next 2 years in 2026 to get 50 state ballot access in 2028. So let me explain that. 50 states. Let's say you get your 5% plus 2% in enough states to qualify for ballot access in certain states. So maybe you have, say, for example, 25 states. So you are a national party with $20 million open to be on a ballot in 25 states. Well, those states now can run local candidates in 2025 and 2026 because you're on the ballot. But now in 2026, there will be statewide elections again, maybe a governor, maybe a senator. You take some of that money and run those races to get 2% in those states where you didn't get ballot access to the other 25. So now by 2028, you have all 50 state ballot access plus matching funds. All the problems that Bobby had this term go away. He can just run. Him or someone else can just run. They can just run with 50 state ballot access, which means how in the world with a $20 million now, because that'd be a new cycle. So $20 million again, matching funds up to $200 million. That's how it works, up to $200 million. You get up to $200 million now. Bring talent into the party. Run an actual race with ballot access in all 50 states. Have enough money to buy all the polling you want, to buy advertising so you can actually be in the polls and be in the debate stage. It would change the game. That is why 5% matters. But Larry, they can't make any impact. Oh, my friend, yes, you can. And let me tell you why you can. Because our Senate is split about 50-50. It's like a couple independents who caucus has Democrats, but it's basically 50-50. It's why Kamala Harris has done the vote sometimes, the tiebreaker vote. 50-50. Okay. Imagine in 2026, after you've got your 5% and we have ballot access in, say, 20 states, we run some Senate candidates in an attempt to gain more ballot access. And we take that part of that money we get plus the matching funds, which means for every dollar you raise, they match, they give you more. So if you raise 20 million, you now have 40 million. That's how that works. And I say, Larry, why don't the other people use it? Because they raise far more than that. And if you raise more than, if you spend more than $200 million, you can't take the money. Obama stopped taking the money back in 2008 because he raised more than 200 million. He's like, I can't do that. I raise more money without you. I don't want it. So he just started spending his own money, and everyone after him has done so. No one's taken the money since 2008. That's one of the reasons why Jill Stein sued and said, No one's taking the money. Give it to me. And Democrats said no, but the money's there. So now that money, 200 million now comes into Bobby Kennedy with the People Party. So now you run for some senators. Let's say you win 3 seats. You run 7, 8 seats. Throw a bunch of money at like 2 or 3 of them that maybe are winnable. Remember, in a 3-way race, you win with 36% of the vote. 36%, you win. 3-way race. What happens if Libertarians are running? What happens if Greens are running? Maybe 35% you could win. Who knows? So now you win at 35%, 36%, you win. You win 3 of them. You now control the Senate. Larry, how do you control the Senate with 3? Because you're the swing vote. Neither Democrats or Republicans have a majority. They can't pass any bill without you. You now control a swing vote, which means no laws can be passed without these 3. Bobby Kennedy or whomever would be running the party would then run that. Not just that. If you have on party lines, you can't confirm anybody. You can't confirm the secretary of this, secretary of that without these 3. These 3 run everything. That is impact. That is why 5% matters. That is why I'm out here doing this for Gary Johnson in 2016. And then there's an 8-year gap before you see me do this again. You didn't see me do this for Joe Jorgensen. You didn't see me do this in 2022. You didn't see me do it in 2020. I didn't do it. You saw me Gary Johnson 2016, RFK Jr. 2024. Larry, what about your values? Same values, knucklehead. Same values, knucklehead. 5% matters. If you can't get 5%, whatever. Good luck. I'll vote for you. I mean, I voted for Joe Jorgensen last time. It was a virtue signal, and I'm not against virtue signal voting. I do it often. I voted for myself in 2022. I voted in virtue signal vote. It's fine. But if I can make impact, I would much rather make impact. 5% is the number. I hope that was crystal clear. And this is why I'm telling you, I don't care what they say. I don't care how they say it. It does not matter. 5% is what matters. It changes the country. It gives us power. It changes everything. So that's it. That's why I'm saying that. That's why it matters. That's why I don't care. Does that make sense? That's why. Gene says, but I do live in a swing state. What would you recommend for me? Not that I actually do what you say. I'm a libertarian after all. I know, and you're under no obligation to do as I say, Gene. I hope you listen, at least hear what I have to say, and take that into consideration. So look, it is my view that the only person who can get 5% is Bobby Kennedy Jr. That's what I've been saying literally for months. I don't think anyone else can. I think they have literally no chance. He may not, but he's got a shot. I think you should vote for him no matter what. That's what I think. 5%. Get the 5%. Everything changes. I've explained just now why. That's my view. So yes. Pinkerbell says, Tim Pool got so rich being so stupid out loud in public. Look, Pinkerbell, to be real, being smart is not a prerequisite to success. In fact, if people don't know this, if your IQ is too high, the odds of your success actually go down with one exception, and that is academia. If you happen to have, any of you know your IQs, if your IQs are very high, 160 and above, that kind, 160, 165, 170, if your IQs are that high, you probably should be in academia. Like that's where you will shine. Outside of that, you will struggle for success. So being rich and being smart aren't two separate things. They don't necessarily go together. Can, but not required. The odds are actually against you becoming wealthy and successful if you're too high, unless you're in academia, in which case it's almost a direct correlation. Like success in academia and IQ are like almost perfect, right? But that's the only area where that matters. Outside of academia, EQ is far more important than IQ, outside of academia. So, but not just that. Tim Pool's entertaining. And if you want to be a success in an entertainment field, you gotta be entertaining. And I do try to be entertaining, Pinkerbell. I do. I'm not always entertaining as I would like, but I do. Tyler says, thank you, Larry. Yes, I hope I was clear and also open to how I know Tim, that kind of thing. So yes. Jess says, okay, Larry, I feel the same. We are good. I jumped and opened his email a few minutes after I commented to you. That 5% still matters. 100%. And please tell everybody that it matters. Just say, it does matter. Yes. Just me says, sorry, I'm myself subject to. Wasn't there an appeal case yesterday in New York regarding Bobby Kennedy being on the New York ballot? If so, how did that turn out? Yes, there was. That's true. It was yesterday. It was very long, over 2.5 hours. People were chatting back and forth. The judge wanted more information. I think relative to what we were concerned about, it looked pretty good for us, but the judge wants more stuff, which is due tomorrow. We should have a judgment no later than Monday, and they'll decide. My hope is we win. I don't know if we will, just me tell you the truth. I feel more comfortable in the federal than I do in the state. And we're also appealing in the state too. So there'll be an appeal for the state also. So you have to accept two more. The one coming up probably by Monday, and then a state one again. And whatever happens, we'll appeal again. We're gonna try to take this to the Supreme Court if we can. That's what we're gonna have our best shot. So yes, it's still not done, which is why I keep saying 5%, 5%. Yes. Raza says North Carolina just ruled to keep Kennedy on the ballot. One of the ballots already printed. Two, they want to keep Robert Kennedy Jr. on the ballot. Yes. I mean, the reality of it is the Democratic Party is the one doing the damage now. And they don't care about the law at all. That means nothing. They care about what they think will help them win. That's all they care about. Democracy, again, the whole idea of a DNC, the modern day Democratic Party says to save democracy, we must destroy it. That's it. Yes. Here we go. The anti-corporatist says Trump is notorious for using unsecured phones. That's true. He didn't care. He just calls. He's like, let me call China. Boom, boom. He just calls them. It's true. He does that. It's true. Absolutely. Yes. That's funny. Jess says, so hard to swallow. I feel heartbroken all over again. I mean, Trump won without popular and can never win my state of California. Jess, this is what this is my point. I know a lot of people care more about one or the other. I get it. And if you're in a swing state and you care more about Trump or Biden winning, I'm not mad at you if you vote for Trump or Harris. I keep saying Biden. Harris. It's what you feel. Do as you see fit. My point is, I'm like you. I'm in New York. You're in California. Trump's not winning. He's not. He's not winning California and New York. And if he might win the election. And if he wins the election, he'll win it the same way he won last time. Without Trump. I'm sorry, without New York and without California. He will win without those two states, or he'll lose without those two states. Either way, he's not getting them. If Trump got kicked off the ballot in New York State and kicked off the ballot in California, it might help him. What? It might help. I'm not joking. Wait a minute. Yeah. Think about it. What if Trump got kicked off the ballot in New York or California? Who would people vote for? Bobby Kennedy Jr. They would. Could Bobby Kennedy Jr., without Trump, win California or New York? Yeah, he could. If it was Bobby Kennedy Jr. against Harris, yeah, he could win it. Of course he could. So why won't they? Why won't they? Now, if it's me, the Trump people didn't ask me anything. They should. I would pull Trump off the ballot in those. I'm not joking. I would pull him off the ballot. I would pull Trump off the ballot in California, off the ballot in New York. I'd have pulled off months ago. Pulled him right off. Can't win him anyway. But now Bobby might win him. Why does that matter? Because now Harris doesn't get them. If Harris doesn't get California, she cannot win the election. It's that simple. If Harris does not get California, she does not get the election. If I was advising Trump, I would have pulled Trump off the ballot in California months ago. Pull him off. Why bother? Now, why won't they do that? I'll tell you why. You're going to be shocked. Money. The state GOP wants to raise money. So California GOP and New York GOP is going to lie and say they got to send a message or it matters or whatever they're going to say. It's a lie. They're going to say that so people will give the state GOP money. So how do I solve that problem? And again, they should be thinking this, but they would never do this because that to them would be too obvious. Pull Trump off the ballot in California, and then whatever money you were going to spend as a campaign, just reimburse the state party. Reimburse them. It's only about money anyway. Pull Trump off the ballot, reimburse the party. Move on. Get the presidency. If Trump comes off the ballot in a bunch of deep blue states, Trump wins the election. I'm not joking, because with Bobby Kennedy Jr. on this year, he would beat Harris in many of those states. If he beats Harris in those states, Harris can't win the election. Trump wins the election. But Larry, about a Canadian election, Trump will have 26 states. So even if no one gets 270, literally, if Harris is winning, if Harris wins every swing state, I'm making this up, but this is true. Guys, do the math. You can do it. I'm not making this up, guys. You know me by now. I wouldn't say this if it didn't make sense. You can check it yourself. You can check it yourself. And with 270 to win, check it yourself. If all of the deep blue states, Trump pulled himself off the ballot, Bobby would win at least 1 or 2 of those states, maybe 3 of them, because people would like him more than Harris. So he would win those states. So Harris doesn't get those states. So even if Harris won all the swing states, but lost those big blue ones, she couldn't get 270. And Trump will have 26 states. So even in contingent election, he wins. You want to ensure Trump wins? Pull him off the ballot. California, Hawaii, New York. Pull him off those states. Pull him off the ballot. Bobby wins those states. Trump wins the election. That's the actual way of doing it. But they won't do that. They don't listen to me. And I'm right like every time. And I know well, that's, Larry, that's really, how could you say that? Because I do this live show for years. And I'm right every time. You can just go back and check. It's still on my YouTube page. Go back and check. I got receipts. 100% true. They do that, they win. I know somebody just blew some of your minds. Larry, you're saying pull out the... Oh my God. Yes, but it's true. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan, $2. RFK Jr. will be on the ballot in Missouri. There we go. You can vote for Missouri if you want to. There it is. There we go. Guys, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And let me head back if I could, if you don't mind. Guys, I want to be sure, please click the button that is like. I've been on for an hour and I haven't told you. I'm sorry. I'm so busy yapping about stuff. I don't always, I don't do the admin that I have to do. Guys, every single time you're on here, please, I put China and Russia in this. I'm getting shadow banned. I'm getting demonetized. I mean, right? You're aware of that. That's how it works. You do know that. So since we know that's true, do me a favor and click the button that is like. It really does matter. Every little like, every little one of those does matter. Also, if you are watching on either Twitter or if you're watching on Facebook, please share this. Every share matters. Sharing does matter. People see it. It does matter. If you haven't subscribed yet on either YouTube and or Facebook, please do so. Click that bell for notifications. If you want to support me directly, you can with a direct super chat on Larry Sharpe YouTube. Become a member if you want to on YouTube, $5 a month. Click that join button. It does matter. I have a Patreon too if you care. You can check that out also if you want to. If you want to support the show, I'll do more of this and less of my daily work. But you can tell by how I talk, I'm a political consultant. Like, this is what I do, right? This is how I act. This is what I do. This is what I mean. But I know some of you blew your mind off, but it's absolutely true. It could absolutely happen. So anyway, I hope that was good. All righty. Let me try to grab some of these if I could. All right. The anti-corporate says, Tim Pool's dad, Mike, called into the Majority Report this morning and was very complimentary about their fair-handedness and did a painful Midwestern goodbye. Majority Report's fair-handed? Not sure. Not sure that's true. Not sure that's true, but okay. I guess they do take people. I give them that. They do. I think that's true. So yes, I think that is true. There we go. Yes. Tyler says, this is why content creators should disclose their tax and income publicly. Why would content creators disclose their tax and income publicly? I don't get that one, Tyler. Help me out. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Guillermo says, Larry, is it true RFK Jr. may consider dropping out altogether to get off the ballot so he doesn't hurt Trump? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know, but doesn't matter. Again, let me repeat it just in case. It does not matter. No matter what, you should vote for him. He will be on the ballots. Vote for him anyway. Does not matter. I don't care if he does. Don't care if he doesn't. No matter what, do it. 5%, 5%, 5%. No matter what, 8 million votes. And here's the biggest issue. Jess was just talking about this. She lives in California. I live in New York. If you live in a state like that, Oklahoma, South Carolina, your vote does not count. Let me say it again in case you thought I was joking. Your vote does not count. Doesn't matter. Your electoral votes are going to certain people already. If you live in South Carolina or Oklahoma, your electoral votes are going to Trump. If you live in California or New York, your electoral votes are going to Harris. That's going to happen. Unless you vote for RFK Jr., in which case your vote will count towards the popular vote. The popular vote. And if we get 5% of the popular vote, regardless of what state, regardless of anything, there's impact. So you will make impact if you vote, if you're in those states and you vote for Bobby Kennedy Jr. You will not make impact if you vote for Trump or Harris in those states. Again, swing states, up to you. You will make impact. Your vote does count in swing states. It does. I wish it didn't for my own personal purposes, Guillermo, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Your vote does matter in a swing state. It does. Now, in a swing state, I don't know why you'd vote for Harris. I guess you just love the person, I guess. You just love them and you want to show support or something, I guess. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So, yeah. Anyway. Peace Logic says, Larry, do you think Trump will pardon Snowden if elected this round? I do, because it's good virtue signaling. I do. I think it's good virtue signaling. And it's something else. It lets the establishment know he's going to fight them. So, yes, I think he will. That part, I think he will. I don't know what he'll do, to be forward with you. I think Trump has in the past been very fickle and changed his mind a lot. But I think pardoning Snowden makes sense for him. So I think he'll do it. I do. Opus number 1 says, voting should be on a blockchain. Agreed. America needs to get it together and learn about crypto projects. The only guy talking about that, Opus number 1, is a guy named RFK Jr. He's the only guy talking about that. That's it. Nobody else is. Nobody else is thinking about that. So, yes. All righty. Dow says 154.6 million voted for president in 2020, 137,000.5 in 2026. If RFK needs 8 million to get 5%, it seems like there's plenty of space to go besides getting Trump. Yeah, that's my point. Yes. Trump can still win with Bobby Kennedy Jr. getting 5%. Of course. Absolutely. Yes. And it's about, we don't know exactly. I'm saying about 8 million. If it's low turnout, it might be more like 7.5. If it's high turnout, it's going to be more like 8.5. But it's going to be around 8 million. I don't know how many are going to vote. But I'm assuming, my assumption, because last time 154 million voted, my assumption is around 160 million will vote. That's an assumption, Dow. That'll be 160 million people voting. That's where I get 8%. That's 5% of 160 million. So it will be around that. But if it's low turnout, 7 million. High turnout, maybe 8.5, 8, 9, we'll see. But it'll be around 8 million. So that's why I say that. Yes. All righty. Tyler says, as a Michigander, literally every time you have a combo with someone, you always do the Midwestern goodbye. It's like written as code in your DNA. You can't live without it. There we go. As a New Yorker, you tend to just like yell at them at the end. That's how you work. You yell, just diss them. Go, I'm walking here. That's what we do in New York. It's a little bit different. Similar, a little bit different. So yes. All right, let's go and grab these if I could. All right. Vivek says, I just saw an X from Holden off because Jr. dropping out completely. Feel devastated. God, I hope that's not. Actually, let me check X real fast. Hold on. Is that real? Hold on. Let me see. Is that real? You said from Holden? Let me see if that's real, and I will tell you if I saw that. I'm not getting any buzzes yet. I figured people would be yelling at me already if that was true. So far, I haven't gotten any. Let me see. I didn't see that. I don't see that. I think you're lying to me. I mean, maybe not. I don't see it. I'll check. We'll see. So, yes. All righty. Larry, you're hilarious. Boo. You're lucky you're a member. Boo. That was terrible. All right. Thank you. Luma Sochi for the $3 super sticker. I appreciate it. Every little bit of counts. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. Yes. That was not a cool joke. So, yes. Let me see if I can grab this one. Dow asks, who is Holden? Holden works for the PAC and has a lot of information. So, yes. Straight Chillaxon says, Mr. Robot's a great series. Awesome thumbnail. That is all. Smash like. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes. Yes. It was a good series. I enjoyed it tremendously. I thought it was kind of cool. I absolutely enjoyed it. Yes. All righty. Brian Sutton says they'll be coming for Judge Knapp soon. You know, I like Judge Knapp. I've met him before. I like him. I hope that's not true. I hope they don't. I like him. I hope it is. He's one of the most libertarian judges I know. So, yeah. Here we go. All righty. Alexa says, I got my mail about 2 days ago. There we go. Already there. But I haven't opened it yet. There we go. Yes. Already there. 100%. All righty. Share this out everywhere so people know Larry's live. Thank you, Missy. That is true. Absolutely. 100%. All righty. Pickerbell says Oregon is all mail too. There we go. I knew there were a couple states that were all mail in. So they were already there. So yeah. Morgan says, as someone who voted using mail-in ballots, what's your opinion, Larry Sharpe? Any reason for additional fraud? Here's the problem, right? I'm not by default against mail-in ballots. What I was against and still am worried is that people rushing to do it without having a culture or understanding how it's done. That is my issue. I think you can do mail-in ballots. I think it's totally possible. But do you know how to do it right? Is there proper security? We rushed it because of the lockdowns. That's what made me scared. States like Colorado have been doing it for years. So I'm sure Colorado has a system. They know what they're, I assume. I haven't known massive complaints. So my assumption is that Colorado has figured out what's the right way. They must have a decent amount of security. That's my assumption. My worry was, how do you go all of a sudden to 300 million mail-in ballots when you haven't done something that large in the past? I'm hoping because of all the worries and the fears that we had 4 years ago that we fix these things. To be forward, I don't know if we have, Morgan. I don't know. But that is my worry, right? We have to make it, and you can do this, to be clear. All you have to do to fix all mail-in voting, if you're worried or concerned, very simple. 2 separate companies, literally like Amazon and FedEx, who literally can track every single package, every single piece of mail throughout the entire goddamn country, millions of packages going back and forth. So you use 2 of them, not 1, never monopoly, it was 2. And 2 auditing companies like a KPMG or someone like that, right? Or maybe 2 of them. I don't know, maybe a Deloitte and KPMG. And those 2 companies, always 2, not 1, audit. Problem solved. I'm not joking. Problem solved. 2 separate companies. You pick the one you want to use for your mail-in ballots. Maybe each state uses a different one, whatever. They track everything. So I know exactly when it went to Morgan, whether he did it when it came back, because I'm tracking every package. I know where it went, what part it went to, whatever. I see where it's going. Tougher to, could you use fraud? You could, but way harder. And these are companies that audit like multi-bazillion-dollar companies down to the penny. So 2 separate auditing companies who audit. So the odds of you getting caught are high. So if you are screwing around, you get caught. And if you're going to be caught, and now that's a federal offense, and you're caught by a private company that's now going to be able to have all the data, put you in jail, it makes that a whole lot harder. A whole lot harder. Nothing's perfect. But again, last piece I'll add, which is from earlier, you have an environment where whistleblowers are respected. And so if there is someone doing something, someone goes, wait a minute, I saw Morgan. He was doing the bad thing. In comes KPMG or Deloitte. Why do they do it? To document everything so your butt can go to federal prison. So it can be done easily. Absolutely can be done. So that was so I'm not against it. I think it's fine. If you want to vote by me, I don't care. Do all vote by me. I don't care. My issue is, do we have a secure, and more importantly, this is going to sound dumb, but it's the most important piece. Do people believe it's secure? Because if they don't, it doesn't matter if it is. We have to believe it's secure, which is why I say 2 separate private companies to deliver, 2 separate private companies to audit. And you get to pick and choose from state, city, whatever. And now people go, oh, okay. Because of course there's people doing bad stuff, because there's always people doing bad stuff. They're going to start getting caught. They're going to get caught. Because remember something, KPMG and Deloitte, they are fiduciaries. If they screw up, they go to jail. That's how that works. That's why they audit. And they audit down to the penny. Because if they're wrong, they go to jail. So like, we're not being wrong. We're checking everything because we're not going to jail. You going to jail. That's how that works. So I hope that made sense. Hope that was clear. So, all righty. Let's see if I can grab a couple more. Moon Beamer says, I love RFK, but I had to unfollow him on X for a while. The news broke my heart. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Colidi says 5% opens all the windows and doors and change for the future for third parties. 100%. Yes. Yep. The anti-corporate says Trump got us Biden. Yes. Yes. Biden will get us Trump 2.0. Maybe. Yeah, could happen. 100%. Yes, absolutely. All righty. Brian says, while there are valid reasons for some absentee ballots, military service, age to affirm, the person is the least amount of effort as a citizen should make for their liberties. Yeah, in person. I agree. Yeah. I don't really care that much about that. That's not a big deal for me as long as, again, people trust it and it's safe and secure. Otherwise, not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. So yes. Gene says, my mom told me back in the 60s that we need a third party. She said that going back and forth from Republican Democrat doesn't change anything. She was correct. Yes, she was correct. Angie says, my response to Bobby's recent email to me, what is at stake is RFK Jr. putting all his eggs in Trump's basket. Now you've changed your mind again. We need third party viability. End of story. Yes. I don't care what he says. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Moonbeamer says, just me. I don't have the energy at the moment. Others are expressing themselves, but are still falling in line. I can't do it. I finally thought I found a candidate I can vote for. You still have one. You still have one. Still good. You still have one. Yes. So, and it's a strategy to go with KFC. That would have been cute. I like that one. That's a good one. Yes. Joe, Kentucky Fried Rodent. That's good. That's see, KFR. It still works. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Tyler says, to be fair, I think more people today want, for example, Medicare for all, stricter, tighter border policy than they did 20 years ago. Yes, I agreed, but they still talked about it 15 years ago, 10 years ago, right? When did Obama have all four? 2010, was it? 2008, in that area, 14 years ago, right? But didn't Bush have a Trump? No, Trump had it, right? Trump had it, right? In 2016, I think, is that right? So that's like 8 years ago. So it wasn't that long ago that people wanted these things. None of it happened, though. None of it. Yes. So let's see. Scientific Libertarian says, Gary Johnson was polling at 12% in September. This RFK nonsense is a crock of S. I believed that Johnson could get it. I did. I believed it. Obviously, he didn't. But I was a true believer. In 2016, I was a true believer. I thought, yes, that he was going to get 5%. I believed it. And I was out there fighting. I don't know if Bobby can get 5%. I'm sitting here hawking it now. I think he has to. No one else can. Here's what I will say. It was Gary Johnson in 2016 or nobody. Sadly, it was nobody. This year, it's RFK Jr. or nobody. I hope you're wrong. We'll find out November. We'll learn November whether you're right or whether you're not. We'll find out. But here's what I'm going to tell you for sure. It's RFK Jr. or it's nobody. That's what it is. It's one of those two. In that case, I'm right because it is one of those two options. No one else is going to get it. I hope that you are wrong and that he can get 5%. That's all I can tell you. I hope that you are wrong. So yes. Let's see. Gene says, you got ballot access and rules got changed. 100%. Yes. 100%. Yes. So, all right. Morgan says 200 million or 20 million. You've said both. No. 20 million is what you get minimum. The maximum you can get with matching funds is 200 million. I'm sorry. I said both because they're two separate things. I probably spoke too fast, Morgan. I apologize for that. Let me slow down and be clear on that. I said both because both matter. You will get about 20 million, but you can get matching funds. And what matching funds means, for every dollar you raise, the government gives you $1. They match the funds. So you get 20 million. And then if you're able to raise 100, they will give you 100. If you raise 10, they give you 10. You raise 50, they give you 50. So they double whatever you get up to $200 million. If you spend more than $200 million, you must give back the matching funds. That's the cap. The goal was supposed to be to publicly fund elections, and who would ever spend over $200 million? So that was the cap. Clearly that did not work, Morgan, but that was their plan. The plan was, well, of course you can run a presidential candidate race between 20 and $200 million. Of course you could. Who couldn't do that? Well, Obama is one who couldn't do that. And after him, nobody did. Everyone spends more than $200 million on the presidential candidacy now. So that's why I said both numbers. Thank you for clarifying that. If you thought that, others did too. I probably spoke too quickly or wasn't clear. So 20 million is the minimum you get, but up to 200 million matching funds. As you raise more money, you get more money. So if I'm only able to raise $10 more million, I get another 10 million. So I'll have a total of 20 plus 20 they gave me. If I raise 100 million, I get 200 million. If I spend more than 200 million, I have to give back the money. So it's a cap on how much you're going to spend. The goal was to keep this in line. This is one of those another great rules, campaign finance reform, that works so well. Yes, another example of how well it worked. So yes. All righty. Let me grab some more of these. Let's see. Larry Sharpe. Same values. Knucklewood is another golden t-shirt and mug opportunity. It is definitely a golden t-shirt and mug opportunity. Yes, it always is. There's always a merch opportunity, my friend. Always. In fact, go to Zazzle, put up Larry Sharpe. There's merch there. If you'd like some Larry Sharpe merch, there's always opportunities for t-shirts and mugs. Always. Always. Nobody, when it comes to Libertarian Party specifically, even Independent Party in many cases, raise more money than I do. I raise a lot of money for people because I don't mind. If I'm going to give you value, I will ask for money. That's it. And I think I'm giving you money, the value. So I'm going to ask you for some money. So what I'd like you guys to consider is becoming a member on YouTube. Thank you for that segue. Very nicely done. If you want to become a member, please click that join button on YouTube, Larry Sharpe YouTube. It's $5 a month. It keeps me doing this. Less time working. I can give you more shows, put more time and energy into this. That helps tremendously. Also keeps my team going. You guys know I have a team. I got to pay my team so they can actually work on this and make things happen. When you see stuff not happening, my team's not working. I'm probably not paying them enough. So I got to pay them more so that I can get my team going. So please help out with that if you can. Super chat if you can. Larry Sharpe YouTube is always great. If you want to just help out without paying, no worries. It's a free way you can help. Subscribe on YouTube. More subscribers, more people see. Click the bell for notifications so more people will watch. Share it on Twitter and Facebook if you're watching there. And of course, no matter what you do, hip check, punch, headbutt, the button known as like. Don't headbutt it. You'll break your head. Use your nose. It's fine. Ear, whatever. Click that button. That's how we can help out this to grow. And of course, I'm already demonetized because they demonetize me all the time. So instead, just click the like button. It works. It works. So yes. All righty. Brian says, still watch Adam Moreno, but Larry Sharpe ever since Kim Iverson. P.S. Bobby can urge all he wants, but voting Kennedy, Shannon, and Washington. Thank you, Brian. That's the right answer. Yes, yes, yes. That is the answer. Yes. Brian says, I struggle in classroom environments, must be low IQ. It's funny. Struggling in a classroom environment, very often is not because of IQ, but personality. And generally speaking, but yeah, but being in academia, generally speaking, the higher your IQ is, the better off you're going to be. Yes, 100%. Minor Threat says, also more likely to be depressed if highly intelligent because he thinks more realistically. Sometimes also, and something else, if you have a very high IQ, you very often have trouble communicating with people who don't have a very high IQ because your language seems to be very high and other people don't get it because you speak it, your language is different than how you speak. So also works. So yeah, you can also be depressed because, not just because of that, but because you can also struggle to have friends, struggle to make connections. Also true. Yes. Again, that's not everybody. This is not a 100% rule. The 100% rule of the day was zero tolerance policies. This is not a 100% rule. There are some people who do very well in academia without massively high IQs, and some who have IQs and don't do that well. But generally speaking, the higher your IQ, the better you do in academia. It has no difference in how you do outside of academia. You can have high IQ or not and still do well outside of academia. And if your IQ is too high outside of academia, your odds of success go down. So yes, but that's not 100% rule. You're correct. Yes. All righty. Grab some more of these. Noah says ballots are printed on the 13th. Yes. But they can always change it. Yes. Morgan says, keep forgetting Biden's still the president. I know. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Deborah says, why not Jill Stein? I like Jill Stein. I just literally did a video saying about, how it was wrong for AOC to attack Jill Stein. I know Jill Stein. I like her because she can't get 5%. That's the reason. And the biggest reason is she can't raise the money. That's the reason. And again, I bring this up, often. I hate this, but it is true. It is true. I hate it, but it's true. And that is, this is about money. If you can't raise enough money, you cannot get the percentage. Gary Johnson raised $13 million. $13 million and got 3%. Just be clear about that. Jill Stein, if she's lucky, she'll raise $1 million. The other guys won't even raise $1 million. I don't know if they'll break $500,000. You just can't do it. It is impossible in our current system, which is why, Deborah, I want to change this system, which is why Jill Stein fought for the matching funds. She did a lawsuit to get the matching funds because Jill Stein knows she's run for president before. You need the cash. She wanted that money. That's why. I'm not against Jill Stein in that regard. I think if she could break the 5%, I'd be on the Jill Stein train. She can't do it. I don't mean to be mean. No shade on her. I'm just telling you the truth, right? Sadly, in our system, if you can't raise tens of millions of dollars and have a last name Kennedy, you got no shot in this damn thing. Again, I thought, clearly wrong, I thought Gary Johnson, the 2-time governor, was a governor of New Mexico twice. And then he's got Bill Weld, governor of Massachusetts. Of course, raising the $2 million. Of course, we'll get 5%. Boy, was I wrong. Jill Stein is no win. She just can't do it. That's the reason. Just saying. And I don't know if you're mad at me for that. I just want to be clear. That's how that works. So, Larry, Kalita says, Larry, you have a brilliant red and blue math brain. Yes, that's the reality. That's how it works. Yes. The anti-corporate says, wow, Larry, I'm glad that you're stupid and corporate do that. Yeah, they won't. Most people think, and this happens all the time. People come to me and say, Larry, I have this wonderful policy. I go, great, tell me. Oh, it's blah, 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 blah. I say, that's great. That would probably help people. Yeah, so they'll do it. No, they won't. Why? I tell them, how do they get paid? So what do you mean? How do people get paid off of this? Well, no. It's a policy that will help people. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yes, that policy you just brought up will help people. But how do all the grifters get their cut? And it looked like I'm crazy. Nothing gets passed unless grifters can get their cut. So you have to make something that will work and grifters get their cut. Otherwise, it's not going to pass. And people go, well, help. They don't give a helping to people. We haven't solved anything in decades. Think about that. What have we solved in decades? We're fighting over the same shit we've been fighting over since I was a kid. We don't solve things. People get paid. It's a massive grift. They all know the empire is burning. They're trying to grift while the grifting's good. Get all the goods before the empire goes under. They see it. They know it. I know it too, which is why I'm saying 5%. 5%. Yes. There we go. All righty. Let's see here. Dell says, Jess, I just sent a response to the email asking that voters in totally blue states like California still have a chance to try for 5%. Bombard the campaign with emails. I agree. Good idea, Dell. Bombard the campaign with emails saying you're going to vote 5% anyway. Good idea. I like it. Good idea. Matt says, I immediately knew Larry was real AF from one appearance. Had to hear more. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's great. I do like that. Thank you. Yes. Morgan says, any thoughts about Waltz's family endorsing Trump? I think it's funny. Why? Because of what RFK Jr.'s family did. That was terrible. I don't like his family doing it either, right? I don't like it either, right? I think it's just be quiet and do nothing. But it's funny because of RFK Jr.'s family, right? That's why I like it. The Democrats did it to Kennedy by bringing out his family and having his family stab him in the back. So now they had the Waltz family stab him in the back. So it's only funny because it's revenge. That's why it's funny. Otherwise, it's terrible. Look, I say this. You know where my politics are, right? Obviously, I'm a libertarian. I've said it before a gazillion times. That's where I am. But say my daughter, who's only 20, right? And youngsters tend to be far more left than the old guys are. They tend to be. Not 100%, but they often be. So what if my daughter says, I'm a communist, and she runs for, I don't know, city council? I obviously wouldn't like that. Clearly, I wouldn't like that. But would I diss her publicly? Of course not. She's my daughter. I would never diss my family like that. Never. I don't care if she was like, I think, everything my father says is wrong. I just go, you know what? She's my daughter. I love her. She's her own person. Good luck. That's all I would say. Now, privately, I might have some words for my daughter, but that's privately between me and my daughter. And between you and your family, you should have your own private words as you see fit. But publicly, I don't have to support her publicly and go, yes, vote for her. I don't do that. But I could just take, there is a thing that you can do that people don't do enough of. And you do see that I do sometimes do it. You can't just shut up. That's a choice you can make. You have a right to speak, not a requirement to speak. You can just say nothing. That is an option. And if it were my daughter, I would take that option. I would say nothing. So I think the Waltz family should say nothing. But because we did to Bobby, I'm happy I did it because it's petty, and I'm being petty, Morgan. That's why. Garrett, thank you for 20 bucks, my friend. I appreciate it. Every bit does count. And gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, my friend. It's so good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate every little bit counts. I appreciate it. I'm trying to move this thing forward to the best of my ability. Thank you for all of that. I do help tremendously. So, yes. Let me grab a couple more of these. All righty. Gene says, can you explain star voting? How can we ask you star voting? Star voting there's lots of different ways you can vote. When I say ranked choice voting, I say that often. I mean anything that is not first past the poll voting, which means 50% plus one. One way of doing it's ranked choice. That's fine if you want that. Approval voting also works. Star voting. Star voting is a bit of a pain, but some people like it. How star voting works is every candidate gets a number of stars. So this candidate is 5 stars. This candidate is 3 stars. This candidate is no stars. This candidate is whatever. And you add up all the stars. So star voting in a massive election, holy cow, that's tough. Star voting works much better when it's smaller groups of people where you can easily count stars. Now, can you use a program? You can do a program to do it, but I don't know how good they are, how safe they are. I don't know. But star voting is each candidate gets like 1 to 5 stars or 1 to 10 stars, either one, but usually it's 1 to 5 usually. Could be 1 to 4, but usually 1 to 5. And you just check the number of stars you want them to get. And you count up all the stars that everyone voted on for every candidate. Whoever has the most stars is the winner. That's star voting. So you could see how that could be a better way of voting, but it depends on what you're voting for. So hope that makes sense. So yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Gene says, I don't trust the USPS by poll. I said private companies, Gene. I said private companies. That's what I said. Yeah. I did not. I said private companies. Yes. All right. D says, my local campaign has had a face has removed himself from all ballots. We'll see. He will not be able to move himself from all ballots no matter what he does, because as everybody knows, some of them he won't be able to. So we will see. I don't know. He won't be able to remove himself from all the ballots no matter what. No matter what he wants, he will not be able to. So let's hope he won't read that many at all. Let's hope he won't. We'll see. So, all right. Let's see here. The anti-corporate says Noah Clark, the most recent I can find, in which 13 minutes ago was RFK was trying to take his name off the ballot in all red and swing states and to make sure it's on in blue states. That could still work for us to be forward. If it will, even if it's just on blue states, that would still work. We could in theory get all 8 million just out of California in theory, right? So yes, we just push blue states. It totally works. Yes. Rick, thank you for being a member, my friend. I appreciate that. He says, when you're a libertarian, heartbreak is just another day. Yes. Yes. Dow says, if RFK Jr. were to drop out completely, wouldn't all the states have to take him off the ballots? Please clarify. No, they don't. I'm not joking when I say this. Literally, he could die. People have won elections dead. I'm not making that up. That's true. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. What happens is, if he actually were to win, right, then that party or that group would have a vacancy committee, or the governor or whoever the executive is would find a way to replace him. Depends upon the laws in that state. In some states, the state senate or assembly replaces the person. In some states, the governor does. In some states, the party does. Depends upon what the rule election laws are in the state. So if you win, so say I run in New York and say, I'm not going to run. I quit, right? I quit. I'm out. But it's, a week before the election. So I'm still on the ballot, and say I win. Depending upon New York State, if I remember how New York State works, there's a thing called a vacancy committee in New York State. That's not every state. And the vacancy committee would then, once I drop out, would select, and that's set up front by the party, would select who my replacement was. But now if I win the election as the replacement set, I think the governor takes it as if I dropped out, and the governor will replace, depending upon what I'm running for. The mayor could also replace, and in certain cases, I think the state senate can. So it doesn't matter, is what I'm saying. He can drop out all he wants. Depending upon the state, they are not required to remove him. They'll use whatever processes they have in case he wins. If he doesn't win, the votes still count, but he doesn't win. So I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see here. How are you, Mike? Mike says, could it be that the hype on China spies / Russia potential influence is meant to increase voter apathy and counter third-party impact? Could be that. My gut says the entire goal is to increase fear. So we stop thinking. And I know, Mike, you hate that because you like people to vote on logic. I do too. I'm with you on wanting that. But as you know, the more fear we had, the more people vote with emotion. Orange man bad, gotta vote Harris. That's a thing. So yes. And took over 2008. Yes, thank you. So Obama had 2008 and Trump in 2016. Thank you. So both of them had it relatively recently, right? So 8 years ago for Trump, 16 years ago for Obama. Nothing happened. Yes. As Morgan says, all talk, no walk. Yes, absolutely. So I think we do have to deal with that issue. Morgan says, thank you for clarifying. Yes, and thank you for bringing it up. The one of the reasons why I do this live, in my head, this all makes total sense. It doesn't mean it comes out in a way that makes sense, right? I get it in my own head because I'm thinking it. But when I come out, it doesn't always come out the way I want it. So when you guys correct me and go, hey, I didn't get it, it means I clearly did not communicate it well enough. So thank you for that. That makes me better in my communication when you go, Larry, I didn't get that. Because I'm sure someone else also got confused, right? Clearly I didn't say it well enough. So yes. All righty. Thomas says, anytime the government pays matching funds, things get more expensive. Every single time, Thomas. Yes. Every time. It's terrible. Yes, it is terrible. Noah says, Larry, if KH wins, will a depression and insanely hot war a reason for more mandated sticks and a stacked Supreme Court so our country's rights can be challenged? We can't risk a Dem win. Okay, so you wait 4 years to get all those things? I'm not saying you're wrong. So you wait 4 years and you get them anyway. I mean, I guess it's great you waited 4 years. You're still going to get them. I mean, these things are going to happen when the Dems win regardless. They'll win this year or in 4 years. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't want to just wait 4 years. I want to fix the system so it doesn't happen at all. That's the point. I want it to not happen. I don't want it to happen not now, but in 4 years. Right? So that's my issue. My issue is I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't want to just wait 4 years for it. I want it to not happen. And the only way that happens is if we change the system. That is my point, if that makes any sense. And I've heard that, by the way, every election. If you listen to Democrats, what are they telling you? If Donald Trump wins, it's the end of democracy. There won't be any more elections, right? There'll be no more elections. It's over. He's going to declare himself dictator of the planet and done. They're saying the same thing in reverse. And if that's true, if he's going to be dictator of the world or whatever, if they're right, he'll do it this year or 4 years from now, either him again or whatever. I don't know. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, whoever will obviously come in. They'll say the same thing. If Ted Cruz wins, he'll become dictator of the world. And if it's true, then we'll get a dictator of the world in 4 years. I don't want a dictator of the world. I don't want a depression, a hot war. I don't want any of those things. Stacked Supreme Court, none of them. So how about we change the system? That's where I am. That's where I am. So yes, hope that makes sense at least. So Ryan says, Larry is giving you ideas to make more money. I'm in, brother. I'm in. Absolutely. I'm totally in. Straight Chillax is saying, I will re-up on Patreon next week. Thank you, my friend. Every bit counts. Yes. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate that. Yes, yes, and yes. Dave says, Larry, if the Democrat and Republican candidates are raising and spending over $200 million, where is the money going to president? Where is the money going in president campaign fund? It's sitting there, which again is why Jill Stein asked for it. That you're exactly right, Dave. She's like, hey, it's got it. Give me the money. And they're like, no, sorry, sit there. No. So there we go. They just said no, you can't have it. So yes. So anyway, let's see here. Show me the shirt. Is that for me? This is my shirt. Larry Sharpe Government. It's the old school one. This is 2018. I sometimes wear the 2022 ones. And also, if you notice, above me is a Sharpe Way. There's a Sharpe Way shirt too, if you want that one. And some of my favorite ones, some of them are favorite ones. One of them is the one that shows, let me see if I can show you the one that is actually one of my favorite ones. I have a couple of interesting ones that you might like. We did a bunch of designs, most of them from 2018. Most of them were for 2018, and they just stayed because they They were good shirts. So let's see if I can find this one here if I can. And of course, now that I'm looking for it, I can't get it, but I will find it for you. The Zazzle shirts that I think I enjoyed the most, there was one for Father's Rights. And then there was also one for, is it there? There we go. I think I found it. And there was another one for the Second Amendment. And then there was another one for veterans. And let me see if I can find one here. And there's also a cool hat. Don't give up New York. And there we go. All right, I'll put this one up here so you can see this one. This is the Zazzle account, if you guys want to check it out. And there it is. That, if you look at it right there, it says, support our troops, bring them home, help them heal. That's a lovely t-shirt, which I like very much. One of my favorite ones. I do enjoy that one tremendously. So yeah, but also a cool one also. This one is Fathers Matter. Larry Sharpe Libertarian for New York. And it's a father grabbing a little baby. Because I was trying to support the fathers' rights movement in New York State, which New York State Family Court has been crushing fathers like this on tomorrow. So I was trying to support them too. So that was a cool one. This one was for the SAFE Act, trying to repeal and pardon people who've been affected by the SAFE Act. Nice shirt also. So a bunch of them. The hat I think I enjoy. Don't give up New York. That's my cool hat that I wear sometimes. Don't give up New York. So that's a nice one too. So there was some merch there if you guys are interested. There's also just the general Larry Sharpe ones, right? Hold on if I can find one. The Sharpe Way, of course. A Sharpe Way shirt. Respect, love, purpose. Also nice for Sharpe Way. Some of those. Larry Sharpe for Governor hoodie. This is the new one, 2022 style versus the other one. There's a Larry Sharpe shirt there. Larry Sharpe for Governor. See that? So there's a bunch if you guys care. Head over to Zazzle. Check them out if you guys care about that. So there you now saw the shirt. So, all righty. Lunatic Libertarian says, survival of the fittest is coming. Repeal everything back to the Constitution. This part, Lunatic, this is what Ron Paul said years ago. He said, I want a government small enough to fit in the Constitution. Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely, yes. 100%. Ryan says, Larry, if Ted Cruz wins the presidency, how's he going to make time to make his daily rounds on conservative media, talk radio, and his podcast? That'd be a challenge, Ryan. That'd be a challenge. Maybe he'll have like a very powerful VP do it for him, but it would be a challenge. I agree. So, but we'll get one of those guys. I don't know which one. So yes, absolutely. All righty. Let's see here. Brian says, if the sitting president is too infirm to campaign for his chosen replacement, shouldn't the 25th Amendment be used? Should have been used a long time ago, my friend. Yes. Should have been used a long time ago, my friend. Absolutely. Yes. Dave says, how many millions do you have to raise to get 5%? That's a good question. My gut says 20 million. My gut says 20 million gets you 5%. That's my gut. If you have a decent one, right? My gut says 20 million, right? Morgan says, an hour and a half. Bless you, Larry. Thank you for your time. Brother, this is what matters. Connecting is what matters. You guys are telling me what's up. You guys, and I'm telling you and hope we can spread this, right? That's really the issue. You guys are telling me what's going on. So yes, that piece does matter tremendously. Yes. Super Weapon says, shout out to Larry being one of us with putting Mr. Robot in the live stream thumbnail. Laugh out loud, fantastic show. Yeah, I do watch crazy things too. Yes, I watch shows like that. Absolutely. I am human, and many of them I watch with my family. I watch a lot of crazy with my daughter. I have two daughters, one 20 and one 14. So like I will watch things with them because I wouldn't watch it myself, but if they like it, I'll watch it. So yeah, I watch a lot of things like that all the time. Or I remember when my oldest, when she was younger, PewDiePie was very, very popular. And I started watching PewDiePie because my daughter was watching it. And I learned that, I'll give you an interesting story. My daughter was probably 11 or 12 in that area, young. And I saw her watching a video. And it was a video, the video was of a guy talking about another guy who was playing a video game. So the guy she was watching wasn't playing the video game. There was another guy playing the video game, and he videoed it. And this guy was commenting on the guy playing the video game, and she was watching him. I did not get that. I did not get that at all. I was like, I don't get it. And I asked her, I said, sweetheart, why are you, and it was PewDiePie. That's how I first saw PewDiePie. I said, why are you watching him? And she said, well, I feel like I'm watching it with him. And I went, that'll never happen again. I will watch with you. You don't require PewDiePie. You got daddy. We're good. So I started watching with her. So I watched PewDiePie with her. My youngest one likes Mr. Beast. My oldest one she's 20 now. She doesn't watch this stuff anymore. But when she was younger, she liked PewDiePie. My younger one likes Mr. Beast. So I watch Mr. Beast. I watch PewDiePie. I watch whatever. Doesn't matter. They like it. I'm watching. We're together. I understand them. I get it. I know what they're watching. I see their friends. When my daughters will play Roblox, I'm playing Roblox. When they play Minecraft, I'm playing Minecraft. Absolutely. I am on with them. I'm seeing their friends. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm playing. We'll do the obbies together. All good. No worries. I'm playing them all together. I don't care if they're girly, and they played some girly games. I was playing some girly games. I did not care. My daughters mattered. I'm playing with them. My wife wouldn't do it. I did it. So yes, I am one of us in those regards. I don't care. It's totally worth it. So yes, thank you for that. Sarah says, my coffee money for the demonetization fund. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate the $5. Really, I do. Everyone counts. Thank you so much, my friend. I do appreciate that. Yes. So Morgan says, I still don't understand the reaction videos. I do them too, right? You see me do them. I think they're fun. But the difference is I do them live. So we are watching together, if that makes any sense, right? When I do my reaction videos, you guys are with me. So we are watching together and we are going back and forth. But when my daughter was watching it, this was like recorded like a month ago or something, right? That was it. That was it. That Liberty lady says, sorry, so I'll grab this here. Oh, did that go? Where'd that go? Why did it not go? There we go. All right. Family courts across the country beat the hell out of dads. Yes, I knew that. I saw that. I'll tell you a real story on this one, Ryan. In 2018, when I was running, and for those of you who are dads who've been beat up in family court, take this the right way. I'm just being very clear with you. When I first heard the story about dads being beat up in court, I thought it wasn't true. I didn't want to believe it. True, Brian. I did not want to believe it. So I go to events and I meet people in events all the time. So guys tell me a story. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's terrible, man. Sorry about that. But I thought, oh, he's probably a bad guy. That's what I thought. I know it sounds horrible. And for some of you who've been through it, it probably hurts. It probably hurts for you to hear that. But I'm telling you how I honestly felt at the time. But then I go to another county, another day, from a different person, hear exactly the same story. I said to myself, this might be real. Then I heard it again. Same story. Different person, different county, different part of the state. Same story. Damn, really? Fourth, fifth time, I'm like, this is real. This is a thing. And I went into detail. And I created an entire policy on reforming family court that you can take to any court, to any state. And I hear that was my policy from family court came from that. And people would tell me, Larry, why wouldn't other people take that? And I'll tell you why, Brian. If you know this world, you know what I'm talking about. It's not as true now because the courts are starting to get a little bit better. It is happening now. They're starting to get better. The problem is most of the courts, they support the bad guy. So if you are a deadbeat dad, you're good. The court's like, yes, we got you. If you're not a deadbeat dad, the courts basically make you one. They go out of their way to crush you, to just make you one, right? They go out of their way to do that. So you have to be able to reform them. And I feel like we are much better at that. Better. But the last guy in New York State who thought about that, believe it or not, was Elliot Spitzer in like 2006. Since then, nobody talked about it. Why wouldn't they? Because if you were to take that side, the assumption was, oh, you just like deadbeat dads and you hate women. It's not true. And I never cared about that. I always took on things when I ran for governor that I thought was right. I didn't care if it would make me look bad. I support the vaping industry. Why? Because people should be free to vape if they want to. I don't vape. I don't want to vape. Not my thing. I don't care about vaping at all. But people should be able to vape if they want to vape. That's it. That's my point. They basically banned vaping in New York State, but you can still smoke and drink. Doesn't make any sense. If you can smoke and drink in New York, you can vape. I don't do any of those things. I don't like any of those things. It doesn't matter what I like. It doesn't matter at all if it's healthy or not. It's you, as long as they're transparent on what they do, you can do it. So I supported them too. So I supported the Father's Rights Movement because I wanted the court system to be repaired. And the problem was, it even supported bad moms. If you were bad, you got supported. If you were good, you got hammered. I was like, this can't work. It's the wrong thing. And the judges, oh my God, judges in family court, so many of them are terrible. They're little tyrants. They do whatever they want. They put you in jail. They punish you. Those you don't know, if you go to family court, without question, the judge does whatever the judge wants. You can't sue them. You can't punish them. You can't record anything. Or they'll put you in jail for recording it. So they blatantly break the law. Doesn't matter. They don't follow due process. And here's an example that actually happens in this case. And some of you may, all right. If it's criminal court and I'm afraid of you or you're afraid of me, you go to court and say, hey, I would like to have a letter of an order of restraint, a restraining order against this person. Here is my evidence and my due cause, and the person knows and they are notified, and you know this, done. That's fair. Due process, everyone's notified. I get it. Not mad at that. Good. Family court, no. Judge will sit there in court. It'll always be a woman in this case because it's how the many of the courts are still biased towards women in this regard. The woman will go, I feel unsafe. That's it. That's her evidence. I feel unsafe. So restraining order. The judge will go, okay, give the restraining order. And not just that, not tell the dad. I'm not joking. So there's a restraining order. Dad doesn't know because he's not in court that day. Doesn't know, restraining order. Well, you live in the same neighborhood. You shop at the same shopping center. She sees him. She calls the cops. Well, the cops come. The cops see a restraining order. They don't know that there was no due process, and the guy doesn't know. They have no idea. The cops assume, oh, judge signed it. This guy's a bad guy. He's probably beating her up. They assume this, the cops do, so they come at him hard. He has no idea what's going on. He fights back. He gets his butt kicked, goes to jail, loses his job. Never knew there was a restraining order. Never, and no evidence, nothing. That was happening all across New York State, like every freaking week. I'm not even joking that was happening so much. That kind of stuff's unfair. Not that men who beat up their wives, whatever, should be. Of course they should. But due process, as I was talking earlier, for everybody. Go let the guy know, hey, don't touch her. You have a restraining order. If you see her, you better go the opposite way. He knows what's going on. He leaves. He has due process. And then if he breaks it and he gets his butt kicked, oh, well, you shouldn't have broke it then. I get it. But that kind of stuff was happening constantly. And then the judge would say, well, you lost your job, but you have to pay your child support. He said, but you put me in jail, so I lost my job. Doesn't matter pay. Well, I can't pay. What do you do for a living? I'm a contractor. Contractor? Want to take your license. What do you mean take my license? Take your license. Why? Because you didn't pay. Well, how am I going to make money? You put me in jail, so I lost my job, and so I can't pay. So you got to give me time to pay. You won't give me time to pay, so you take my license, so now I can't work. Yes. Then you wonder why he goes to Florida. Do you wonder why he leaves the state? Why does he abandon his kid? Why is he a deadbeat dad now? You made him a deadbeat dad. That guy wasn't one. And if you are a deadbeat dad in New York State, I'm sure there's other states too, you lie and say things like, oh, I don't have any money, and you put your house in your mom's name, just doesn't even bother caring, and the deadbeat dad gets away with it. So the actual deadbeat dad gets away with it and screws the wife over, and the actual not deadbeat dad becomes deadbeat dad. I'm sorry, you got me going off, Brian, but yes, I spent so much time in this. Joel says family court's a depressing thing. I don't know how anyone can work the idea of it. It is, yeah. Family court's really bad. It is tough. It's one of the hardest things that we've dealt with. And what I always said is family court is usually treated as the kids' table. The judges don't want to be there. They think it's not cool. They want to be in criminal court. They'll be doing big stuff. So it's treated like the junior court. And my argument has been and still is the most important court is family court. Because if you have stronger families, you will have less criminals and you will have less criminal courts. But we don't think it that way. We make family court the most junior court. Judges don't pay attention. Doesn't matter. Not good for their careers. All that stuff. It should be the opposite. Family court is the most important court. If you have stronger families, you will have less crime. 100%. So, yes, I'm sorry. Lunatic says, masculinity is toxic. I roll, parenting is toxic. I like that. Yes, I get your sarcasm completely. Look, the reality of it is fathers matter. Mothers too, of course, but we all know mothers matter. Sadly, we have a lot of I don't need no man in this world, and judges seem to not care at all. Another thing I was always bringing up is judges would be concerned more about the money than time. And what always bothered me is my father died when I was a kid. I was 11 when he died. And I would have rather had a broke dad than no dad any day of the week. Any day of the week. I didn't get my father had money. I wanted a father in my life. I didn't have one. And I was a lost teenager. One of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps. 17 years old, ran away, joined the Marine Corps. Why? Looking for positive male role models. Didn't have one in my life. Didn't have it. I struggled. I was not a good student. I struggled. And I would have taken a dad in my life. I don't care if you could only give me ice cream. That's it, once a week. I'd love that. I would have loved that. Absolutely, would have loved that. So for a state to step in and take away somebody's dad because he can't pay enough money, what an embarrassment that is. What a terrible thing that is. And judges were doing it left and right and left and right. So yes. So, all right, Peace Logic says, I've seen this firsthand with a friend. They took his driver's license away for failure to pay child support. Then he lost his job with Uber. Now he can pay nothing. Yes, and the judges have zero, and I mean zero sympathy for the man. None. They just wreck them. And here's the worst part. So now you're a kid. You're a mom. You're a son or a daughter. And what is your image of your father now? A deadbeat. And you wonder why they can't have good relationships. And you wonder why they don't want to get married. The courts just made your dad a deadbeat. Yes. Now here's the worst part, Peace. What if he didn't get divorced? What if he stayed with his wife? Does he have to work? No. So the court makes him pay when he's divorced. But if he wasn't married, he didn't have to. He can sit there and be a bum. He could sit there and be a bum, not do nothing. Courts is fine. You're married, so whatever. Oh, you're divorced? Now punishment begins. Now I devastate you. Not just that. The court can decide, I'm not joking, for those who've been through this, so Peace, how much money did you make, at one point in your life? Well, at one point I made whatever, $80,000 a year. Okay, great. That's what you made? Wonderful. That is now what you must pay based upon that. Oh, but I don't make that now. I lost my job. Doesn't matter. At one point you made $80,000. You must not pay on that. But my job went away because the economy's crashed. Doesn't matter. Must pay it. Well, I can't. My job now doesn't pay that. Get 2 jobs. I'm not joking. Judge goes, get 2 jobs. Well, now I'll never see my son. I don't care. Pay. The judge cares more about cash than the judge cares about you being with your son. You might go, why? Because the state makes money off this. It's always we went way off topic, but I'm sorry. It's always the money. If you have noticed, if you pay your child support, you must pay through the court system. You can't just pay. If I write a check to my ex-wife, they go, oh, no. You've got to pay through the system. Why? They get a cut. Like a credit card company. So you have to go through the system so they get their cut. If you don't go through the system, they don't get the cut. You didn't pay. You go to jail. But here's the check that I wrote. She cashed it. I see it right here. Here's the evidence. Jail. We need our cut. So the more money they make, the better. So yes. So anyway, sorry. I'll go back to this last piece. Larry, are you going to comment on Bobby now withdrawing? I've already said, I have commented already. I know it's a long stream. Maybe you missed it. I do not care what the campaign says, what Bobby says, what everyone, does not matter. We need 5%, vote Bobby Kennedy in non-swing states, period. I don't care what they say. It is irrelevant. I did a whole rant on this. I'm sorry. If someone can clip that, they want to clip it if they want to and say it, but 100%, don't care, vote. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. So Joel says, and judges all say he should have thought of that before. Well, then how about she? She shouldn't have thought of that? How come only he? How about both? That's all I have to say. Guys, I'm asking you one more time. Please click the button that is like. It does matter if you can. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please retweet this, reshare this, whatever it is. Please do that. You can subscribe if you want to. That's awesome with the notification bell. You can always super chat me if you want to. And of course, if you want to become a member, please do so. For $5 per month, click that join. That is awesome if you could. I do appreciate every little bit that you can possibly do. But no matter what, click the button that is like. And what I will also ask you is once this is over, once this live stream is done, please come back on whatever you were watching it on, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you're watching. This is streamed on 8 different platforms. Come back on again. Put a comment. I'll respond because you know who likes that. It is the one and only Mr. Rhythm. Al Gore. Rhythm. He cares. Try to make him happy. Guys, I will be back on tomorrow night with another AMA or something else. I'll figure it out. I'm not sure. I'm looking at bringing on a guest to have a chat with the guest too. And I will be on Monday night also with my my long time show at night, 9 p.m. So I will be on again. I will see you all very soon.